Hi, I'm Richard Maraj, Senior Minister at Unity of Phoenix Spiritual Center, and I want to thank you for visiting our website and for tuning in to today's message. If you feel inspired by today's talk, I really encourage you to make a donation by hitting that button below and making a contribution to this ministry. It'll allow us to continue these messages online and to do the great work we do here at Unity of Phoenix, which is to inspire people to live better lives. So thanks for tuning in, thanks for your support, and we hope to see you at a Sunday real soon.
Morning again, everyone. And a shout out to Susie and Bob Anderson, who watch us in Newcastle, Colorado. Thanks for the note and thanks for tuning in. Let's hear it for them. Okay. All right, Susie and Bob. All right, so this bagpiper, who played a lot of gigs, was asked by a funeral director to play at a graveside service for a homeless man who had no family or friends. And the service was at a pauper cemetery in the Nova Scotia back country, and the bagpiper was not familiar with the area, and he ended up getting lost and was really, really quite late. He arrived an hour and 15 minutes after the time of the graveside service. There was no funeral director to be found, no hearse to be found. The only people that were there were the diggers and the crew that was still left, and they were eating their lunch, and the bagpiper felt so bad, he apologized to the men for being late. He went over to the side of the grave and he looked down and he saw the vault lid had been in place already. And he didn't know what else to do, so he started to play. And the workers put down their lunches and they began to gather around. And he played his heart out for this man who had no family or friends. He played like he had never played before for this homeless man. And as he played Amazing Grace, the workers began to weep. They wept, he wept, they wept all together. And when he finished, he packed up his bagpipes and started to his car. And though his head was hung low, his heart was filled for that amazing, incredible experience. And as he opened up the car door, he heard one of the workers say, "I have never seen anything like that before. And I've been putting in septic tanks for 20 years. So, that's a bad joke. Okay. So today, we begin a 5-week series entitled How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness. And it's actually the subtitle of a book by Jen Sincero. And the reason I use the subtitle is because the actual title is actually called You Are a Badass, which of course she means in a spiritual sense. But I decided maybe How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness would be a better thing for me to say more frequently in my talk than the other thing. And I decided to teach for 2 reasons. The first one is the book really teaches a lot of the same spiritual teachings and principles that we teach. And she does it in a fun way. You know, she uses a little more colorful language than I can use, but the spirit and the intention of it is really fun and really, really fabulous and extremely helpful, you know, and very practical. And it's really about how to take your comfortable life, how to take your decent life, your good life, and turn it into a great life, into an awesome life, into an amazing life, into a life that makes your heart sing, that makes your toes tingle, and that fills your soul with joy. The second reason I'm teaching it is because I believe one of the greatest reasons we're not living as fully or feeling as much joy and fulfillment in our lives is that we all in some way doubt our own greatness. In some way, we do not believe that we are as great and amazing and as wonderful as we truly are. You know, we doubt our beauty. We doubt our intelligence. We doubt our brilliance, our talents. You know, we doubt that someone could be wildly in love with us. We doubt that we can fulfill all our dreams. We doubt we can be outrageously happy or incredibly successful or incredibly rich and prosperous. We doubt that we can't live the lives that we want to live. And the fact is, every one of us has pretty good lives. You know, we've got jobs, we got cars, we got friends, we got teeth. We have clean water, we have air conditioning, we have remote control. We have pretty good lives overall. And how many people would say, as good of a life as you have, as decent a life as you have, you know that you are capable of living, doing, and being more than you are at this moment. And the thing is that there is a level of life that we're kind of comfortable with, and a level of life that we can't quite allow ourselves to imagine, to feel, to deserve, or want to work and go to that next level. And so my question is, think of an area in your life where you are not letting yourself live at a higher level of fulfillment, whether it's a relationship or financial or in your career. Where are you holding back or not believing or not allowing that you could live an amazing, awesome, great life and live an even more amazing life than you're currently living? And the fact is that amazing life is available to all of us. And Jen Sincero says that the thing that we need to do to actually have that, to create it and to manifest it and enjoy it, is to move from wanting a good life to deciding to have a good life. Because when you decide, there is power, there is clarity, and there is commitment. See, we can want a lot of things, but what have you decided to be? What have you decided to create? What have you decided to achieve? In the book of Job, chapter 22, verse 28, it says, "Decide upon a thing, and it will be established for you, and the light will shine on your ways." Michael Beckwith has a version of that says, you can start out with nothing, and out of nothing and out of no way, there will be a way. Because once you decide, it sets things in motion. Once you decide, it sets a level of clarity and efficiency of how you move forward. Now, deciding isn't just a one-time thing you decide. It is, yes, to begin. But deciding also means that you will do some things you never imagined doing. You will spend some money in some ways you never imagined spending. That you will do some things that your family and friends may not agree with or like. That you will believe in some things that you cannot see and some things that you might not believe at the moment are possible. Deciding means that you are willing to push past your fears and to begin to do some things that make you feel uncomfortable. To let go of some old ways, some old beliefs, some old relationships, and to open up to a new version of yourself. And to decide that in such a way that you do it like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. And sometimes we get excited about wanting a good life, but when we hear deciding includes letting go, pushing past, we think, maybe my decent life's okay. And it can be okay for a while, but there's a point at which that it will not be okay anymore. There's a fabulous line in a poem that says, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in the bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." That the risk of staying in our decent, comfortable, safe life is more than it is to open yourself up and go after the life you want to live and the person you're meant to be. So, today we're going to look at how do we stop doubting our greatness and open ourselves to live a life that is awesome and amazing. And the first thing we need to do is to make a decision, to decide. And to me, it's not just a decision and to decide to live a great life. I think the first part of making that decision is to decide to connect with a higher source and energy of the universe so that we can attract something greater. Nikola Tesla said this: if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. Because the universe is made up of energy. It is made up of a source energy, and everything in it is made of that energy. And that energy has more power to create, more wisdom, more intelligence, more possibility and abundance that we could ever imagine. And that is the universe that we live in, and that is the stuff out of which we have been created, and yet we don't always believe it or feel connected to it or even turn to it or try to access it. And we can call it whatever we want to call it, but it's there. If we stop for a second to believe, how did this all come together? There is an energy and a source and intelligence out of which this all that is and could be comes from. And yet we don't take time to connect with it. We want a better life, we start running, thinking, asking, reading, doing all kinds of other things. And there's nothing wrong with that. But first connect with the energy that makes an awesome life possible, that makes a great life possible. Because when we do, we tend to attract and draw in the right people. The things that aren't for us begin to move away, and things begin to flow in an amazing and wonderful way. It's synchronistic. It's effortless. It's joyful. It's amazing. Einstein put it this way. He said, coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous. But when you are connected into this energy, things begin to move, and they are in sync. You attract the right people. You're in the right place at the right time. Things tend to flow in that way. Even when they don't flow, you tend to stay more calm and peaceful, knowing that things still are working together, even in a moment it doesn't look like it is. And so, how do we begin to connect with the source that makes all awesomeness possible? And there are two ways. Number one, it says, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am source energy. Be still and know that I am the creative power of the universe. Stillness is one of the greatest things. It's one of the greatest energies and powers that we can create. We just aren't always comfortable doing it. Or at some level, I don't think we necessarily believe that stillness is that possible, because if we did, we'd, I don't know, do it a little more consistently, do it a little more regularly, do it as the first thing we do before we engage in meetings or relationships or activities or setting our goals. So there is something about quietness and stillness. When you immerse yourself in that energy, it raises the vibration and the energy in us. It raises that frequency, because everything has frequency and vibration. And stillness actually helps raise that energy and vibration in ourselves that make then the activities and decisions actually easier, clearer, better, and wiser. Another one is just to consciously focus on a particular energy. Like the highest and greatest energy, of course, we know is love. So everyone close your eyes for 1 second, take a deep breath. Go to your heart space. Let go of everything and just cultivate the feeling of love in your heart. Now I want you to feel that love in your heart, and let that love as a light expand up towards your head and down towards your toes to fill the entire fullness of your being. Take a deep breath and just feel love. In whatever way love feels in you, just feel as full a feeling of love as you can. Deep breath. Let's do one more. Go back to your heart. Let's do the feeling and vibration of gratitude. Feel grateful right now. Grateful for your life, your family, grateful you're here today, you're healthy. Feel great gratitude in your heart. Let it expand to fill you from your head to your toes. Feel grateful. Take a deep breath. Expand that feeling of gratitude. One more time, deep breath. Feel so, so grateful. And so it is. And just open your eyes. And so to just focusing on the energies that have a high vibration, like love, like gratitude, like compassion, like joy, like kindness or caring, any of those things will raise our vibration. See, when we decide to have a better life, the best decision in deciding is to decide to connect with the source that makes all awesomeness, greatness, and possibilities for goodness available to us and accessible to us. The thing I like is that, religious or not, are you noticing more and more reports of actors and scientists and business people turning to meditation and quietness? Ellen DeGeneres, Jerry Seinfeld, I see people all the time are reporting how meditation and quietness does something to us. Deepak, when he was here, was talking about the meditation. It actually shows scientifically that it changes your mind, it transforms energies. It is a powerful thing. So why then would we not, if you want to decide to have a better life, decide to connect with a thing that could make a better life possible and as easy as possible? And so the cool thing about that is, the meditation creates a connection with that source and power energy that makes everything possible. But then the connection through the meditation should bring a realization of our magnificence as an expression of that energy. an expression of that greatness and awesomeness. And sometimes that realization, because we don't make the connection, doesn't always exist. How many people know that you are an amazing, awesome expression of that divine energy? How many people know that? Okay, great. And I believe that you know that, but I'm saying sometimes while we think we know it, there isn't a realization of it. Let me give you an example, is that sometimes we don't have a realization of our own beauty. She tells a little story that I know everyone can relate to. Anybody have a friend or have had a situation that's gorgeous, and you tell them how beautiful they are, and yet they'll tell you how hideous looking they are? Anybody have a situation? Apparently no one, but okay, 4 of us, good. Or you'll have a friend that's really, really bright, and they'll tell you what a knucklehead they are. Or a financial power. They're millionaires, but they'll say, oh, I could go broke any day. It is amazing how brilliant we are, yet we will argue and insist that we are not that good. We are not that good looking. We are not lovable. We are not smart. We're not successful. We will argue. It is amazing. Like, I know all this stuff, but yet, and I'll hear it, and I'll think to myself, yes, it just say thank you when they say you did this well, but it's kind of in us. And I'll tell you why it is in a little bit. And not only is that, do we put ourselves down or not let ourselves acknowledge and realize our greatness, and we show dissatisfaction with ourselves, but then we do ourselves the ultimate insult, is that we wish we were someone other than ourselves. Anybody ever look at someone saying, God, I wish I had their body? or I wish I had their smile. I wish I had their whatever. I wish I had their fame, their power. I wish I had their life. I wish I had their house. I wish I had their bank account. Whatever it is, we kind of wish we had other people's stuff because we kind of feel diminished about our own selves. You know, we say we believe we're an expression of that infinite intelligence and beauty of the universe, and yet sometimes we don't believe and realize how incredible we are. Sometimes we'll recognize it in moments, but we'll always kind of vacillate it. I'm pretty good at this, and then we'll put ourselves down about that. Ping-ponging back and forth, from recognizing to not, to realizing to not. Here's what Jen Sincero says. We spend our lives drifting between glimpses of our own infinite glory and the fear that we are not only totally incapable, unworthy, lazy, and horrible, but that it's only a matter of time before someone blows the whistle on us. We torture ourselves incessantly, and for what purpose? We can glimpse our own glory if we can. Why waste time then giving energy to other options? You know, wouldn't it be more fun and productive and sexy if we fully embraced our magnificent, delightful selves? Why is it that we build a case that we're not so great? You know, why is it that we keep doubting our greatness instead of accepting it, instead of celebrating it, instead of appreciating it, instead of expressing it, instead of enjoying it, instead of sharing it? The thing is, we weren't born that way. What they call when babies are born, a bundle of joy. A light was born into the world. This baby is so beautiful, so cute, so trusting, so pure. I guarantee you, when we were born as innocent, pure beings of light as babies, not one of us thought as a baby, I am just ashamed of my thighs. I guarantee you, no baby came out and said, oh, this situation looks hopeless. I guarantee you, nobody came out as a child and thought, wow, this is too expensive. Things cost too much. I'm telling you. Nobody came out and thought, oh, this is so last year. Nobody as a baby came out. Nobody came out as a baby and thought, you know, hair should not grow there. Nobody came out of that. Okay. We were conditioned. We came out as pure beings, amazing and magnificent, and we forget because we get conditioned to believe that we're so far less than. Jenny Holzer said, you are a victim of the rules you live by. We're a victim of the things that we've accepted to believe about ourselves that are so much less than the truth of who we really are. You know, our conscious mind has been fed these things, and our subconscious believes them, that even when we say, yes, I want to be wealthy and prosperous, and yet our subconscious says you are not worthy. Or that we have a belief that money is bad, or something in our family happened that it means something negative, and we kind of repel it. So one of the things we need to do is to look at the areas of our lives that we're kind of struggling with and ask ourselves the question, so what do I really believe here? And not to shame or blame, but just to recognize. Because we continue to sabotage and undermine our success. Well, just knowing that we have an issue about money or our self-worth just begins to actually release and liberate ourselves from those ideas, so we can actually accept ideas of our own greatness, that I'm beautiful, or I'm a healer, or I'm creative, that we could take on more of those good by releasing some of the things that are just not true. You know, connecting and meditating and connecting to that source energy to give us a realization of who we really are, who we've always been, and who we are meant to be. One of the things she says is that your job is to be as you can be. Because the world is waiting for the gift of you. That to do not shy away from who you are, because otherwise you will leave this world you-less. And don't deny the world the one opportunity to bask in the glory of your brilliance, your beauty, your kindness, your creativity, your unique smile, your unique eyes, and your complete and total awesomeness. You're great. You're awesome and you're wonderful, and that's just the truth. It isn't arrogance. It isn't conceit. It's not from a swollen head. It's from a reality of the source of who you are and who you came here to be. I am awesome. Together? I am awesome. Take a deep breath into that. Let's say it again. I am awesome. Deep breath. Half voice now. I am awesome. Deep breath. My life is awesome. Together? My life is awesome. My body is awesome. My body is... My smile is awesome. My personality is awesome. My talents and gifts are awesome. My wisdom is awesome. My jokes are awesome. Come on, why not? Why not? Why not? So a part of the realization through the connection of that with that source is to realize that we are awesome, that we are amazing. And it's just about connecting with the truth of who we are so we can share the light that we are and the gift that we are to the people in our lives and to this world. And then the second thing about the realization when you make with the connection is to also understand that we live in an abundant universe. That there is no moment in our lives when we do not live in a world of limitless possibilities. I live in a world of limitless possibilities. We live in a world of limitless possibilities. I live in a world of limitless possibilities. That's an awareness I want us to look around all week and say that. I live in a world of limitless possibilities. Let's say it together. I live in a world of limitless possibilities. And that's true at every single moment. So we'll do a little call and response. Whatever I say, you say. I live in a world of limitless possibilities. So in the morning having coffee, what's true?
I live in a world of limitless possibilities.
When you go to bed at night,
I live in a world of limitless possibilities.
when the sky is blue and it's sunny,
I live in a world of limitless possibilities.
when it's raining and thundering like crazy,
I live in a world of limitless possibilities.
when you're in love and you're dating the hottest person ever, when you haven't had a date in 6 months, you're eating potato chips, binge watching something on Netflix. If you have a fabulous job, if you just lost your job, if you are healthy and vital and energetic, if you just got a serious diagnosis, if you got lots of money, And if you're struggling at the moment financially, and that's the truth. The realization that we are amazing beings also comes with it. There was a realization that we live and move and have our very being in this abundant universe, in a field of infinite possibilities, and that's all the time. That is true all of the time. So if we want a better life, the first thing to do is to decide to connect with that source energy that makes everything possible, and then come to the realization of our magnificence and uniqueness, and the realization that we live in a world of unlimited possibilities at every moment. We all want a better and awesome life. And the greatest way to do that is just to stop doubting our greatness. God bless you all.